Hello and welcome everybody, it's Karen. Thank you for stopping by. I have got a really fun card today. It's a pop-up wave card. Sometimes it's called a stadium wave card, but whatever it is, it's fun. So here's a look at what I'm using today. I've got the Build an Island die set again, and I'm just using the palm trees from that one. Then this is the star of the show. It's the Jungle Birthday stamp set, and it's full of really cute little animals and wonderful sentiments. So that one I'm using quite a bit of today. And then I'm using this particular border die from the Slimline Bunting border die set. Now I'm making a 5x7" card, and I'm using a card front because I want to kind of keep that separate so I don't get it all dirty and messy. In my white scraps, I had this circle left over, so I'm using that, but you could choose to use any shape you want. It could be square, rectangle, whatever you want. And you can see I am just really quickly inking in a bit of a blue sky with a cloud or two. Nothing special or fancy. And then if you've watched my other two videos, this is going to look very familiar because I'm using tea dye ink for the bottom. But I'm switching it up today. I'm putting a little bit of grass in there with a Copic marker. This is meant to be kind of jungly for the jungle animals, but I didn't have jungly things, so I'm making do with a bit of grass. So then I can attach everything onto that. I did mount that sentiment on some foam tape, and I'm just attaching this circle to the middle of my card front. And it's a very simple card front because all the fun is on the inside with this card. Now I've got a piece of acetate that I believe is 3 milliliters thick. It's a thick acetate, and that is a 4" by 7" piece that I've cut off. Now I'm using an embossing stylus to score this because you really want to get a good groove on this acetate. I'm scoring it at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 inches, 2 inches, and then we're going to jump all the way over to 4 1/2 inches. Now this is going to make all 8 of the little mechanism pieces that we need. It's just easier to score them all together like this and cut them after. So that's all I'm doing there, and it should look like that. So now we're going to take that larger section and fold it into the middle in a mountain fold. And you want to give that a really good burnish. Then the next score line along to the left of that is again a mountain fold. So I'm going to fold that into the middle again. So again, burnishing that one. And then this next one will be a valley fold. So we're going to fold up and away from the center of that acetate. And then that last one is going to be another valley fold, so we're going to fold back again to the middle and really burnish that. Now this is going to make 8 of those little mechanism pieces. We're going to attach them together first, but it should look like that, sort of an M shape. So I'm putting some red line tape now on the outside of that very first section. And then what we're going to do is burnish that. And I find that with the red line tape, if you burnish it, it tends to make it disappear a little bit more. So with this, I really burnish these folds quite a bit. But you can see I've removed the release paper. I'm holding all those folded sections down, and I just press that big long piece up and over onto that red line tape, and again burnish it. Now you should be left with a piece that looks like this. It's all joined together, and it's a bit of an M shape there, or a W. Now what I do is I put this in my guillotine cutter. It's 4 inches, so I slide it over 1/2 inch and I just cut it. And so now I've got one of the 8 pieces that will make up our mechanism. So I just keep cutting this entire 4-inch strip down until I've got all 1/2 inch wide pieces. And now to assemble these, I'm keeping that folded edge down at the bottom. And I don't think it matters, but the seam side that we created with that red line tape before, I keep that face down. So these are all going to attach together. I'm putting red line tape on all the edges. Now I put it on the right hand side of the back, and then I flip this over, and I'm using my grid mat here. We're going to overlap each piece by half, so that's actually 1/4 of an inch. So on my grid mat I can see exactly where that 1/4 of an inch is, and I just line up the red line tape edge with that, I guess you could say. But I'm making sure the tops and the bottom are even, and just overlapping by 1/4 of an inch each time, and then burnishing. And you just do this until you've got all 8 pieces attached. And that's all there is to this mechanism. So you could make a whole bunch of these ahead of time. Now it should look like that. And if you did make these ahead of time, then it's super easy to make a card anytime you want, anytime you have a whole lot of images. Now on the right hand side, we're going to put red line tape on the top. So here that's going on the top right hand edge. And then we're going to flip it over, and on the back we'll put it on the right hand edge that side. So one is on the front and one piece of tape is on the back. And that's going to allow us to attach this inside our card. So hopefully you can see that that's where they are. So on the inside of the card now, this is going to go up in the left hand side. The way we taped it together means it's going to open up from the left side to the right. And I personally find that easier because I'm right-handed, so if you're writing a message in a card, it's just easier. But now you can see how those will attach. So if you want to stamp or decorate the inside of your card, now is the time to do it before you attach this down. So you can see it wouldn't work if we put it on the right side. We're going to keep it to the left. We're not going to butt it right up to that fold. It's a lot of bulk there, so I keep it away a little bit. I actually put mine a little lower than I probably normally would do, just because I was making a video. Things go wrong when you make a video. But I've removed the release paper on the back of the left-hand edge, and I'm keeping it a little bit away from that left-hand side of my card and a little away from the fold line. You want to keep it a bit away in from the edge because any images you have, you want to make sure they're not sticking out of the card when it's closed. So now I've removed the release paper on the right side, and all I do is hold it in place and close up my card. And there it is. So it's really not that hard to do, but it has such a wow factor, this. Now it does add a bit of bulk, and I tend to use a belly band with these cards just because there is that bulk and they want to pop open. Now I've temporarily tacked in place my images because I like to kind of make sure nothing's sticking out and that you can see everything. Now I'm showing you here, with those sentiments, I've made little signs. I just put them up on a little tiny strip of acetate, and it will go in behind. Now that tiger, I was going to show you, I have him tucked right down in the V of that acetate strip there. But if he was higher, this is what happens. He'll pop out the front. So this is why I tack them in place, because I need to get a feel for how high up they're going to be. Now to attach them, I've got double-sided tape on the back of that little sign, and I am going to stick this to the back of that V. So along that back edge is where I will stick my red line tape, along that, right there on that piece there. And I sort of gently put it down first, and then I have another look and see if I've got it where I want it to go, and once it's there I just press it in. The back one and the front one don't really open up much, they're attached, so they're not going to have as much movement. But you can see I'm checking there again with the tiger now that I stuck him down that he's not sticking out. And I just kept checking with all of them as I put them on just to make sure nothing was, surprising from the front. Now on the front here, this also doesn't move very much, this one, and I tend to decorate the bottom or the front part of that V as well. I've got the elephant on the back part, and now on the front you can see there I've put a few little party hats, and I've put one on the actual card itself, just because it doesn't really stand up very much at the front there. But how cute are all those little animals? Honestly, it's such a fun card. So because I've attached the front now to the whole card itself, and this is going to be how the card is in the end. It just pops up with all those really fun little animals. It's like that stadium wave when everybody jumps up with their hands in the air. So I think that's partly why it's called that. It does stay open, and because you can't open it only once, I'm opening it again for you. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. I hope I've given you some ideas, and I hope to talk to you next time.